as we head into the pinnacle event of the week, and go ahead and get all of the relevant information up on the stream. You can already see last night's race winner, the 2-2 driver for McLaren, stepping in for the Papaya as one of the first cars out on track. Of course, Domar winning last night's race by a comfortable margin. We questioned his strategy decisions at some point during the evening, but he proved us all wrong, taking victory by a very, very, very wide margin. And for Tier 1 here tonight, it's a matter of can Mercedes extend the lead out front. The Constructors' Championship is starting to become a little bit of a runaway train. 204 points for the Mercedes in this one. We have 2 cars out on track tonight with our 15 drivers, and it's Franco as well, who's leading the championship by a comfortable margin. 4 podiums, 2 wins on the season. He's got the 27-point lead over Scorzy as well in that Red Bull. And it's all gone to plan so far for Franco. 125 points. He's got back-to-back podiums. That 3rd place, finding that bottom step in Monaco. Just getting the edge over Scorzy, who wasn't able to make that Monaco race. And sometimes all you need to do is show up. And that's exactly what the Mercedes has done for the last 5 weeks, and he continues to do so here tonight. We've got Maniac, who looks to be the first one out on a flying lap in one of the Aston Martins. It's been a season so far to forget. They've got their best result last week in the Principality of Monaco, but they do see themselves very, very, very far adrift in the T1 Constructors' Championship, and they found difficulty with consistency. They have potentially maybe found a little bit of something, picking up their best results last week. 15 points for the English outfit, but they're certainly going to be looking to build on that. Could that potentially be the springboard to get themselves back in a midfield fight? In a midfield fight, it certainly is. Ferrari and Williams tied on 104 points. And further down, Alpine, McLaren, the Racing Bulls, all in there, 72, 61, and 60 points, respectively. And for Aston Martin here tonight, it's just a matter, can Maniac get them up there? Can Maniac just pick up some points, gain a little bit of relevancy going forward? A great night to try and jump past. It's only leaky out on track for the American outfit as Maniac comes around the final corner. We were seeing low 27s last night in the session. We're going to start off with a 28.4 here tonight from Maniac. We'll go ahead, get on board with Domar. Is leaky in the Haas, goes ahead, sets a 27.9. Can Domar go ahead, top that? Immediately does so, a 27.1 to lead things off here. Alpine right in the middle of things, and so is Cloud City. For Cloud City, it's been a very up and down season so far. Picked up points in multiple races so far. Started off with that podium on the British Isles, but has yet to find that form once more. But he's certainly going to be looking to reinvigorate his championship charge, but could it be a championship charge already too late as we head into the back half of the season? Cloud City, the Canadian driver. Alpine themselves, again, right in the thick of things. Tonight would be a great night. Can they beat out the Williams? Can they go ahead and show up with a great result? Cloud City and Shadowstorm and his teammate put in a 28.6. He's certainly going to be wanting to improve upon that is Shadowstorm, but the 2 Alpines could use a phenomenal night to re-interject themselves in that fight for 3rd place in the Constructors. We'll go ahead and see who else is out on track at the moment. The championship contender, Scorzy. That Red Bull is flying around, and he is going to look to try to keep it all together. A nice lockup heading into the downhill right. This section of corners right here, some of the toughest ones on track. Heavy braking zones, turning while you're braking. Another lockup heading into there. That red-walled soft tire being abused on the inside. But he's going to do everything possible to leak every single ounce of performance out of that Red Bull. That Honda power screeches up the hill and into the Arabian Night goes the Red Bull, fastest middle sector here early on in this one. 12 minutes to go of this 18-minute qualifying session. Where can the Red Bull establish himself here early in qualifying as he comes out of the final corner? That Honda powertrain throwing him across the line, and he goes into P2, a 1:27.7. Goes the Red Bull. He'll tell you that he can do better than that. We'll go ahead and grab one of the Williams. You see that beautiful Gulf livery on that Williams car. That is a phenomenal sight to see Williams right in the thick of things with the Scuderia, with Ferrari, the Italian outfit. Both Williams and Ferrari's little power slide out of that corner. Tied on 104 points. It is every race they're swapping back and forth at this point. It was a phenomenal result last week. Ferrari not picking up a single point, and Williams taking home 26 points to draw them level. And Hitch is going to see himself in 7th place. We'll go ahead and see what his teammate is up to as he is just about to come along the final corner. What can that Williams do? That Mercedes powertrain. Battery is empty. Stamposo comes across the line at 28.7. So the track not quite ready to go for the drivers here yet. We'll definitely see those times improve here into the future. Again, Domar last night just setting some absolutely ridiculous times. Cries last night to no longer have him race in Tier 2, to move him to this tier. And you have to, oh, that's a poor invalidation there from the Ferrari. And Zitmar's gonna want that one back. He's gonna be kicking himself. That was a silly corner to invalidate on. I think he's maybe gonna go ahead and try for another lap here. He's gonna cut a little bit of grass and do just that. We've got Cloud City on yet another out lap. He might have invalidated his first one. A new set of tires, I believe it is, for the Alpine. And our championship leader, Franco, has yet to put a tire on the track. Just waiting for that condition, that surface condition, to ramp up ever so slightly. Needs it to evolve to his liking. Championship contenders always have something about them. They've got some quirk that they love to have. Could Franco's be just taking his time in qualifying? As Cloud City comes across the line to start his flying lap. We'll keep an eye on the Ferrari, who was probably kicking himself last time for invalidating that lap. He comes down the second of our 2 DRS straights, of our 3 DRS straights. He hits that outside curb. I don't think he's on a push lap. That rain light at the back, flashing red, signaling the recharging of the battery. Leave it, Mark. And the Ferrari is going to head back to the garage. 8.5 minutes to go in this session. And time will only tell who we will see on pole here tonight. We'll go ahead and ride back on board with Cloud City. I believe it's Leaky potentially ahead of him. The lone Haas out on track tonight. Go ahead and take a look at the man who's currently in 3rd place, currently on a lap, looking to improve on his 1:27.9. Can he potentially do that? He's found 2/10 in the middle sector and is the fastest through the middle sector here so far in qualifying. He's going to get a little bit of a slipstream, actually, from the Sauber of Enigma in front of him, and Panda has been disqualified from the session. That's one you never want to see. You really do hate to see it, and for a Racing Bull outfit that could have really used the points tonight, that's going to be a major setback as Leaky puts himself above Scornsey up into P2, a 27.5 for the American Haas, and lots of drivers as well. On outlaps, Cloud City, we didn't get to see him cross the line, but he managed to find a little bit of time, jump himself up into 7th place, a 128.4 for the French team. His teammate just coming through that final sector as well. Can he get up there with his teammate? Shadow trying to improve on the 28.6. Keeps the final quarter nice and tidy. Across the line, no, he's going to pull into the pit lane at rapid speed. And he will presumably take his time in the pit lane. Meanwhile, we haven't talked at all about Iceman yet. The man who's sitting alongside Franco, but Iceman, listen, when you're at the top of the Constructors' Championship, that means both cars are working for you. And Iceman's done just that. No podiums to his name just yet, but consistent results have seen him find himself in 5th of the Drivers' Championship and put Mercedes right at the top. They've got that comfortable gap. Multiple top 5 finishes for the American as he sweeps through the long left-hander, looking to improve on that 27.9. I wonder if Franco's going to be beginning his lap soon. You can see him on the minimap just coming up through that final sector. Iceman doing a nice job to set the fastest middle sector. Something we've seen often from the drivers tonight. Can he keep it together? Does so nicely. Iceman, a 27.9, can now turn into a 27.6. Managed to find almost 4/10 on that lap, did the Mercedes. And he'll look to continue that climb up the field. The man we have to have eyes on now is Franco in the Mercedes. His teammate of Iceman, as he heads through turns 1, 2, and 3. That DRS wide open. DRS, a system we're saying goodbye to after this year, being replaced by whatever they want to call the system nowadays. It's not going to be the mom system anymore. Whipping that Mercedes through the S section. A fastest first sector for the Argentinian. A little bit of lockup heading into the downhill right. You see it very, very often. Can he avoid locking up the left front? No, he cannot. A little bit of tire smoke as he skids across the ground there. That flat spot probably won't feel very good in the cockpit. A little bit of slipstream from his teammates gonna help him here as well as he sets up that left-hand corner very nicely, getting all the way out of the corner and getting a little bit out of sorts as he comes up the hill. Still manages to punch in a fastest middle sector. He's got 2 fastest sectors to his name. His teammate, I believe he's gonna abort this lap yet. That battery light flashing once more. Will he have another go at this lap or simply pull it right back into the pit lane? As you can see there, one Mercedes after another heading into the pit lane. He's going to have 4 minutes to set the time on the board as the championship leader. Scorzy is looking like he is going to peel it into the pit lane as well. Just about everybody in the pit lane as of now. Nobody on a very competitive lap. The Ferrari Vitmar might be. Go ahead, stick on board with him for the time being. Actually, I believe Maniac could be coming to the end of the lap. We'll go ahead and see what the Aston Martin is up to. 3-lap-old soft tires. You would imagine this is just going to be an in-lap for that lovely green-looking car, and he's going to go ahead and do the lap. He's going to promote himself into 7th place. A 128.0 now from Maniac. It could be a little bit too late for him to get back into the pit lane, but it's Itmar that we're riding on board with now. As another car came into the pit lane, so just now, under 3 minutes to go, you would imagine that we're going to see a bit of traffic heading out of the pits here. If you've missed it, Franco had a little bit of a moment in the middle of his lap has yet to set a time. The championship leader finds himself in 14th. The Ferrari into the pit lane. Panda disqualified earlier in the session for facing the wrong direction. I wonder if he lost the car in a dangerous place and wasn't able to get turned back around in time. We'll go ahead. Maniac has proven to us that he has invalidated his lap. The Haas, one of the first drivers to get on their outlap. The looks like, is it going to be the Alpine of Cloud City behind him? It certainly is. Warming up those tires is Leaky. Heading up the hill once more, and a whole flood of cars headed out of the pit lane. That bottom right mini-map on your screen is filled with moving dots as 150 to go. Here in qualifying, they have said it's time to get out on track, but they're going to have to watch out for Leaky. He's going to be on a flying lap. Could he potentially disrupt some of those on their outlap? Only time will tell. As DRS wide open, the Haas coming through turn 1 once more, does extremely well, keeps it nice and tight through there. Turn 2 and turn 3, nice and tidy as well. The DRS wing wide open. As the Haas on some used tires by the looks. Some used tires. A 127.5 so far for the Haas as he's quickly approaching this traffic. You can see on the minimap as he's got a little bit of a squabble heading down the hill. He's coming up on this traffic rather quickly. I don't know if they know about him. This could be a little bit interesting as those who came out late are just now about to cross the line. You see the Sauber of Enigma just about to do that. But can Leaky navigate this traffic? Will it impede his lap at all? Only time will tell. He comes up to the Alpine, who gets out of the way. I believe that's Shadow Storm, as you see an Aston Martin doing some donuts off into the distance. Nicely done. Mr. Maniac is... I think he's going to move out of the way there. Invalidated his lap. He's going to need to go on yet another lap should he wish to set a further time. I'm already on board with the kick sound. Extreme Enigma, 29.6. Nowhere good enough by his standards. He's going to look to bring himself further into this qualifying pack. It goes Sauber, Mercedes, McLaren, Mercedes as they come down the hill into one of the slower sections of the track. We'll do everything possible to keep our eyes on Franco. Where does he end up? Not able to set that banker lap earlier in the session. Does he find himself in a spot of bother heading into our race here momentarily? See all the cars now filing through that middle sector. The only man who has finished so far, Cloud City, has confirmed himself with a 28.3. Maniac with a 28.0. What will Extreme Enigma get on this lap? Can only improve to a 28.8. It's Franco who's next to come across the line. The Mercedes and championship leader heads to the top. A 27.7 quickly displaced by Domar. A 26.7 for the McLaren. And it's Iceman who pulls up in third. A 27.5. Can Scornsey knock him off the top? Yes, he can. It's third for the Red Bull, as Leaky has already done his lap in the Ferrari. Can he catapult himself into the top 3? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. He's invalidated his lap, and that will do it. Zietz and Domar has not just qualified on pole in Tier 2, has not just won the race in Tier 2 yesterday, but qualified on pole here in Tier 1, a 26.7, blowing the competition, and Tier 1 championship leader out by 0.3 of a second as he takes pole here in Bahrain, as Franco, maybe with a little bit of issues, having not gotten that banker lap in earlier in the session, had to play it safe to get a time on the board. The 27.0 is the best that he can do. Mercedes starting second and third with a McLaren on pole as the race comes up here shortly. Confirmation of those results. It's Domar on pole, and it's Iceman Rules who's moved down to 4th. Scornsy in the Red Bull, apologies to him, found his way up into 3rd place. The two Williams line astern in 8th and 9th, as are the Alpines in 12th and 11th. The other Red Bull of Mark Lax, we didn't really see too much of him. He's down in 11th. Panda, courtesy of that earlier disqualification, will find himself at the back of the pack as his teammate Fattel starts in 7th. Well, that was certainly an interesting qualifying session. There were definitely a few things to talk about. Number one, Franco not getting that banker lap in. We have to ask the question, how much did it affect him going into his second lap? Was he playing it safe? Did he have to let off a little bit, keep it within track limits, not push that Mercedes maybe as much as he would want to on his final flying lap when the track is completely ramped up, times were flying in? But the story of the night so far has to be Domar. Can he go and get both race wins tonight? This is the same type of performance that we saw from him yesterday. Grabbed pole by 0.4 of a second in Tier 2 and coasted off into the distance after an early battle with the Red Bull. Is that going to repeat itself tonight here on track? We will find out momentarily. As a nice swig of Coke Zero for me to replenish my voice before we head into this one. Big race for Domar. Potentially establish himself saying, guys, I'm quick enough for Tier 1. You see what I did yesterday? You see what I'm doing tonight? Domar going to be laying claim to that Tier 1 seat at McLaren. For Ferrari as well, somewhat out of position. The Williams, somewhat out of position as well. Those two teams locked in a very heated battle for 3rd place in the Constructors. Red Bull right up there at the top as well. You're going to need a little bit of help from that second man, Mark Lax, who won in Monaco. Going to have to put on a champion's performance here this evening to get his team, to get the Milton Keynes outfit right up the field, to help his teammate Scornsy potentially disrupt Franco, potentially disrupt Domar as well. Time will only tell. We just about ready to get underway. We are just about ready to go. Green light yet doesn't. Haven't seen anything yet. Well, speaking of which, 4-5 lights are on. It's lights out and away we go from Bahrain. Franco gets an incredible start on the inside, and he's already passed Domar. The Mercedes, the championship leader, moves up into 1st place. Domar's lost 2 spots, potentially on the inside. As there's contact on the inside, the Red Bull trying to get up in the second, trying to hold that place. The Ferrari of Itmar getting involved as well. Domar, the pole sitter on the inside, having lost the lead already, hangs on to P2 for now, but the Ferrari of Itmar is getting interested as well. We've got cars falling down the field. We'll get to the tires here shortly as they come now single file down the hill. A little bit of a lockup there from Itmar's Scornsy is going to have to find a way now past Domar. Can he do so quickly? A hellacious start for the McLaren, as he's going to try to keep the Mercedes in touching distance. As the Aston in the background there kind of going a little bit off track. Domar having a little look down the inside. Nothing quite. As we see here, is the Red Bull going to look to make a move on the Aston Martin? No, he is not. The Aston Martin holding that position, but only momentarily as they head up the hill. The Red Bull on the outside. Soft tires for the Aston Martin. An interesting strategy decision. We'll go ahead and get that up now. You see the position changes. Stamposo has lost 3 places on this opening lap. You can see Maniac in the Aston Martin, the only driver on track on the soft compound tire. We'll head back to the battle at the front if I can find our way there. We've got cars in the pit lane. Mark Lax is headed into the pit lane. It's a move for the lead. Zian Domar trying to go around the outside. That then becomes the inside of turn 3. Battery switched on. DRS wide open for the Mercedes. He did the move too early, did the McLaren, but doesn't matter. Lock up on the inside. He fights around the inside as well. The Mercedes of Franco hanging it on as they swoop down through the S section, but it's the McLaren that comes out ahead. Great battling between the two of them. I'm sure we'll see more of it tonight as the Mercedes still trying to look for that lead position, as now the Ferrari and the Red Bull go wheel to wheel down the hill. Here comes Scorzi, here comes Itmar. Scorzi on the inside, the Ferrari on the outside, and it looks like Itmar's just got it done, as they're still side by side heading into this backstretch. You can see multiple moves taking place, potentially for the lead. Franco on the inside, Domar on the outside. They're 3 wide heading into a corner. And this battle up front is going to rage all night, ladies and gentlemen. Franco on the outside, the Red Bull, multiple cars getting involved for the lead here. Domar still hanging on. They're 3 wide again, heading into the final corner. Can they make it 4 wide? But it's Scornsey that comes out ahead. They're swapping positions faster than a woman changes clothes, ladies and gentlemen. These drivers are flying out here tonight. No DRS for Scornsey. It's Maniac with the fastest lap, the soft tires. Domar flies out in front, courtesy of the DRS, and Franco down the inside. Oh, there's a little bit of damage. I didn't see who it was, but there's damage on somebody. It looked like a little bit of wing flew off one of the cars as Iceman now tries to have a little bit of a look at the Red Bull. Does have a little look as the Haas absolutely just ran into the back of the Mercedes. He'll say he broke in a hurry. It is all kicking off here in the first 3 laps of this one. Domar and Franco will be a battle all night. Iceman getting the move done on Itmar. The Ferrari getting that move done. Leaky just under pressure now from Maniac on that soft tire. How long will those red-walled soft tires work for the Aston Martin? Only time will tell. As the Ferrari and the Mercedes, can they have yet another battle? You see 2 moves in the background. The Ferrari down the inside, the Aston Martin around the outside. 2 moves done in the span of 1 corner for both drivers. The Ferrari still fighting this one out, hangs on to that place. The Ferrari of Itmar, the Scuderia, now 1.2 seconds adrift of the front leading pack. He's going to need to get a move on should he not wish to be absolutely swarmed under DRS. Let's see how he attacks it. That red light is flashing, folks. He doesn't have any battery left to his name, as Domar now is going to make another move for the lead, and Domar's got the move done before the corner. Nicely done there. They're 3 wide behind. Good Lord, there is no rest in this race. Move after move after move is taking place in that Gulf. Williams moves up in the 6th place, interjecting himself in all of these conversations. The Haas looking down the inside. Are those soft tires starting to fade away for the Aston Martin of Maniac? It looks to be so. Can Cloud City potentially catch the Aston as they head through the S's? Time will only tell, and some gaps beginning to form here. Scornsey has fallen just about a second adrift. Can he get the DRS? I think he's going to be too far back. Iceman has fallen 1.8 seconds back of this leading pack. Does Scornsey have DRS? He does not. It's Franco only that has the DRS on Domar. as we head through the trailing part of the third sector. You see a significant amount of cars, early pit stops for Shadowstorm, Marklax, Enigma, and Panda, all swapping onto the hard compound tire. You see them now just coming through the middle sector on the bottom right of your screen. That could be something to keep an eye on should we have a safety car later in this race. Iceman rules, 2.5 seconds back of the Red Bull, is going to come under attack here from the Ferrari of Itmar, who's got battery, who's got DRS, who's alongside the Mercedes, and has got the move done. Easy as you like from the Scuderia as they head into the corner. Iceman there having to surrender the position. Will he be able to have a look at the Ferrari after another dose of DRS? He moves to the outside, tries to go along the outside. Could this open the door for a hitch on the inside with the Williams? It's not quite yet. He stays tucked behind. Does Hitch, as these four will let that battle rage on. Shadowstorm has gotten a move done on Mark at the back, and you wonder what outcome could this have on the constructors to see the Red Bull pit so early? As Scornsy, speaking of Red Bull, has gotten himself back within that 1 second gap. Maniac picking up an early 3-second time penalty. Definitely not what he wanted to see. Those soft tires probably not working as well as he would have liked here early in this one. Franco now certainly going to be having a look at Domar out front. This front three pack is breaking away at rapid pace from the rest of the field. 2.6 seconds is the gap from third to fourth, and it's only going to get wider as they give each other DRS down the main straight. No moves look to be getting done this time. Itmar is going to lose his position once more to Iceman. Could he potentially lose a second position to the Williams? Is it the man in the Gulf livery? Tries to switch back, wasn't there. Hitch will stay in 6th place for now. Franco, can he potentially have a little look? Can Hitch have yet another look at the Ferrari? It's battles all over the place. We'll keep an eye on any of those battles at the back between Shadow and Mark and Enigma if they become relevant here in this race. Franco has gotten a little bit of time on Domar as we are on lap 6 of 29 here. 0.4 is the gap between the Mercedes and the Mercedes-powered McLaren. DRS wide open. Will he go for a move? Not this time. Patience reigns supreme for the Argentinian. And Zitmar and Iceman, same thing goes. Ferrari staying tucked behind. That works Mercedes at the moment. Hitch will certainly say, fellas, I'm stuck. Where can I go? How can I get past? He'll be asking his team, find me a way through this pack. Could we see some strategy decisions take place as we head into the meat of this race? And Domar, who was on pole by almost 0.4 of a second, still leading this race after an early battle, not just with Franco, who had the lead at one point. Scornsy also having the lead at one point. The top three in qualifying, seeing themselves as they were heading on lap number 7. This Ferrari of Itmar has found himself closer than he's been the last few laps, but it's Hitch who's going to make a move down the inside. There's contact between the two, and the Williams gets the elbows out and gets the move done. He was looking for a way past the Ferrari, has found the way past the Ferrari, and he's up into 5th place. Or might not have a lot of nice things to say about that one. Is he going to make the move down the inside? This is a risky place to make a move. The Ferrari down the inside across one of the most difficult corners on the track. They're still fighting it out. That inside line, the Ferrari has the traction. He's got the drive, and he's got 5th position back to his name. It is all been kicking off here as Mitch and Itmar going at it again. The Williams around the outside of the corner, still hanging on. Is that Mercedes power unit, but still not to be. Still not to be for the Ferrari. This battle here has grabbed both Leak and Cloud City, who could potentially be interested for 4th place. As we see here, early pit stops here for Itmar. As anybody else in the pit lane, no, they are not the Ferrari. The lone man pitting here on lap number 8. That strategy decision, will it pay dividends at the end of the race for the Scuderia? Only time will tell. We know how Ferrari can be in real life with their strategy decisions. We hope that doesn't take place here tonight for the Italian. As Hitch now finds himself 4/10 behind the Works Mercedes, as things have just settled down here a little bit. At any point, these battles could see us out on the track, but you think that Iceman Rules has got a nice little rhythm going. As a little wobble out of the hairpin. Could see Hitch a little bit interested. DRS open on the Williams. No battery between either car in 4th and 5th. I wonder if Leaky is just going to keep an eye on things to make sure that he's there to profit on any mistake that these two in front of him might make. We mentioned before, the gap between the front 3 and the rest of the field was just over 2 seconds before, has now doubled, 4.7 seconds. The speed out front from Domar, Franco, and Scornsey is at a breakneck pace compared to everybody else. Can Leaky potentially get a move done? The DRS train notoriously difficult to make moves in. 2/10 behind. Big lock up there from Iceman. Might open the door. Can Hitch get the switchback done? He might have it. He's going to have the traction. He's got the run. He's got DRS. And he's got 4th place right before the corner. The Williams doing a very, very good job sifting his way through the field. As that gap now from 4th to 3rd is ballooned to just under 5 seconds. There's a little lock up there from the Williams. You see a little bit of movement at the back. We'll go ahead and take a look at some of that. We haven't seen too much of it. Here's turn 1 for you now. Between the Alpine of Shadowstorm, Mark Lax, and Enigma, all of these drivers right here, this pack of 4, pitted very, very, very early in the race. As the Sauber gets the elbows out. The Sauber gets the elbows out on Mark Lax. And what Red Bull couldn't have was a pointsless performance from their second man here tonight. And that is currently what they are getting. The Red Bull looking to fight this down the inside. Oh, maybe makes a little bit of contact. Maybe makes some contact, as he probably thought better of that move as he went in to do it. But you can tell that Mark is doing everything can to bring home some points for Red Bull here early on lap 10. But he can't win the race right now. This battle heating up once more. Domar and Franco into turn 1. And it's the Argentine who's back in front of this race. You saw the end of the move right there. It was down the inside for the Mercedes. But it's DRS for the Mercedes. But the battery not charged, as Domar's going to fight this one around the outside. Maybe they made contact. A little bit of wheel banging with the McLaren. He hangs on and they continue down the S's. Scornsey waiting in the midst, waiting for any mistake that the two in front might make, ready to pounce in that opportunistic Red Bull fashion. Can he be there to mop up any leftovers that these two might leave him, as Panda, the man who had a rough night to start, now battles it out for 14th place there on the bottom of your screen. We are focused now on the battle for the leads. Domar does not like being in second. He's been leading the majority of this race, was just overtaken, and you can see the McLaren pushing to get past the Mercedes once more, using that battery, the power unit flashing on the back of the Papaya. Is he going to have a little look? That would have been a bold place to have a look, Mr. Domar. But the Brazilian keeps it tidy for the time being. As a fake into the pit lane. No one bought it from Franco. A bit of gamesmanship taking place between the two South Americans. As Domar around the outside heading into turn 1, which quickly becomes the inside of turn 2, outside of turn 3. The McLaren has the move done once more, but was it premature? To the inside goes the Argentine. To the outside he goes now. Can he go around the outside of the swooping turn 4? Domar hanging on to the lead for the time being. Slams the door shut for the lead of the race. And Scornsy having a little bit of look, trying to apply some pressure to the Mercedes of Franco in front of him. This battle here is one that we are going to have to watch all night. I cannot envision this battle relaxing itself anytime soon. Scornsy and Franco just biding their time no longer as the Argentine. Franco back into the lead of the race, but Domar once more fighting this around the outside. You can see his, oh boy, we've got a few disconnections in the session. Domar still is going to fight this one back. No DRS down this straight. Will he try to go for the move ahead of time? Not this time, says the Brazilian. Not this time. Will Franco bring it into the pit lane? When will these stops take place? Not this time around, as Iceman and Hitch are going to have a nice little battle as Iceman heads into the pit lane. Domar back into the lead of the race, courtesy of the drag reduction system. 3 drivers into the pit lane. Iceman, Cloud City, Leaky, and Fattel all headed into the pit lane. 5 cars now as Stamposo has joined them in the pits. And you wonder as well if Leaky meant to head into the pit lane due to being disconnected. We hope we can get him back in here sometime soon. Franco and Scornsy have gone out front. Iceman and Itmar are going to battle this one out. Remember, Itmar pitting very, very early off of the medium tire, trying for the undercut. It's worked a little bit, but could it come back to bite him later on in this race? This battle out front continues to rage on. Franco now, DRS wide open. Scornsy, you can see the Red Bull just doesn't have anywhere to go. The American just having to bide his time and wait for potentially a mistake from these two, because he's got no way through. It is these two swapping and changing positions, but when they do, there's just absolutely nowhere for the Red Bull to go. But who will blink first on the first round of pit stops? Will Domar throw a fake, as Domar may have been left out to dry? It's the Mercedes and the Red Bull into the pit lane. How can this change the dynamic of this race? Last night, if you were with us, we saw Domar go very, very long on his first medium stint and then power back through, courtesy of the fresher hard compound tires later in the race. It's Franco and Scornsy astern in the pit lane on the pit exit. Will they come out in front of Itmar? This is going to be an interesting little situation if they can find themselves. The Ferrari has found himself right in the thick of things. He cuts off Scornsy and overtakes the Red Bull for 3rd place. The undercut working wonders for the Ferrari as they head to the inside. DRS wide open. An incredible move of brilliance to get their driver into the podium positions for Ferrari. Scornsy not able to get ahead of the Ferrari on pit exit. He's going to have to battle with the Italian, as that's for track position. That podium position yanked away by just a couple of tenths. As you can see, you gotta wonder if there's any sense of urgency in the mind of Scornsy. For Red Bull, it would be a huge, huge disappointment to have that much of a lead out front, as Domar now comes into the pit lane. A 21.1 second gap between Franco and Domar as we're coming now to end lap number 14 and begin lap number 15. Will Scornsy make a move into turn 1? Will Domar maintain his lead of the race? Let's see where they file back on the track. It's not even close. Domar is going to lose not 1, 2, but 3 positions, courtesy of stopping later. But most importantly, he comes out ahead of Iceman. The other Mercedes cannot play the team game and try and hold up the McLaren to get his driver into first place as the Ferrari of Itmar and Franco are going to have a look at it. Scornsey up the inside. Scornsey having to back out of that one. And back out of the other move as well. Potentially a wise decision there from the American, not wanting to put the front wing at risk. As Domar has re-interjected himself in this conversation. What was a battle of 3 rather, has become a battle of 4. As this leading pack as Iceman has begun to catch them as well. So the other Mercedes is becoming a very, very great night for Mercedes to see Red Bull, the second Red Bull of Mark, drift down the field outside of the points. The other Red Bull, the leading Red Bull of Scornsey, not able to capitalize on the pit stops. Could he potentially capitalize now? Looks to go down the inside of the Ferrari into the final corner. Stamposo picking up that 3-second time penalty as the Red Bull applying loads of pressure now to the Ferrari. DRS wide open. All the cars have DRS as Domar is going to look to go into second around the outside. Does he have the move done? Yes, he does. Back into second place is Domar and potentially hunting down the leader as well as we head through turn 3. DRS open for the McLaren. Looking to go around the inside. Shows him wide, does the Argentine. Going for the switchback is the Brazilian. Oh, did they touch on the exit of the corner? We didn't get to see it as they head down the S's once more. No battles can really be had in this part of the track. And Scornsey crucially regaining that 3rd position. He did not want to be behind the 5-lap older Ferrari for too much longer. You can see here they're just about as they were before the stops. You can see the Domar trying to not pass the Mercedes. Extremely high race IQ, understanding that he is going to get the Mercedes down the DRS straights. Will he be able to maintain this gap? He'll need to be about 3/10 behind to make a move into turn 1, but it's turn 1 where he wants to make that move. Screw 3/10 of a second. He's 2/10 of a second behind the Mercedes. Domar, the winner of last night's race, the pole sitter this evening, now looking to catapult himself back into the lead once more, and does just that right before turn 1. A big lockup, though, from the McLaren allows the Mercedes to potentially come back at him. Slams the door shut on a move for now as Franco is going to look to continue the battle. Up the inside goes the Mercedes, and they both lock up heading into turn 4. Notice the McLaren that has the lead. Can Scornsey capitalize on the opportunity? Not this time around, as Iceman has absolutely gotten back into this conversation. A huge penalty there. Itmar running wide. You saw there on the exit is going to pick up a time penalty. They're starting to come thick and fast now. Are the time penalties. Nothing else. Don't even worry about it. Scornsey half a second back as Panda sets the fastest lap of the race at 30.5 on those fresh medium tires. The Racing Bull has not had the night that he has wanted. Domar relegated to second place. Franco back into the lead. And will they swap around once more? The McLaren trying to continue the battle around the outside. They keep fighting. They keep battling. And the McLaren back into the lead once more. That 1 lap newer on the tires. Could it be proving the difference here? Can Scornsey potentially find a way past his championship rival? As you can see, the Ferrari pushing the Red Bull through the corner. You could fit a half a ruler between the two cars. The Mercedes of Iceman now has the move done on Itmar. Could the other Mercedes look to line up a move on Domar? Has the inside line. They bang wheels heading into turn 1 on the exit. The McLaren has the move once more. has it covered off. Could Scornsy get involved here? Scornsy trying to find a way through, just cannot get through these two drivers. They are putting on a show here in this one as they continue this battle into the S's. One by one, they file once more. McLaren from Mercedes, from Red Bull, from Mercedes. As what is becoming a great night, what was a good night for Mercedes, has become a great night for Mercedes. This Iceman is going to have provisional P4 courtesy of that time penalty of the Ferrari. And you wonder now, can Scornsy, is he just biding his time? He has to get past at some point. You gotta get the desperation on at some point, as we are on lap number 17. This race has flown past, ladies and gentlemen. There has not been a break in the action yet, as this leading pack that was 3 at one point, was 4, was 5, is now extended to 6, as the Williams of Hitch has joined the conversation. All of these cars in contention for the win, as Iceman runs very, very wide. The Williams is going to have the run out of the corner. Probably one of the easier moves that Hitch is going to have here tonight. Could they potentially make a move on the Ferrari as well? Can he get 2 moves done in one straight? As the Williams just has to back out of that one. The Ferrari just hanging on to the track position. Itmar finding himself in a spot of bother. 10-lap-old hard tires. He's got 4 more laps on his tires than anyone else. And this Williams and Mercedes of Hitch and Iceman are going to be saying, guys, we got to get past. Itmar's too slow. He's dropping back. Can they find a way through? Maniac has maybe had a little bit of a moment as he has slipped to the back of the field. It's been a very up and down night for the Aston Martin. It's kind of been the story of Aston Martin's season here in T1. But here so far in this race, just the few penalties of relevance. Itmar with that 3-second. Con City with 3 seconds. Stamposo also with 3 seconds down in 9th place as Enigma gets a move done for 12th out of turn 4. And immediately loses the position again. But back out front, it's Franco and Domar. How many times have we seen these two swap and change here this evening? As something also worth noting, Itmar has fallen back of the field. He's into the pit lane. The Ferrari going on the 2-stop. Maniac is out of the session, and could this be a safety car? It is. It is a safety car, a late safety car here in this one. 10 laps to go, just as the Ferrari hit pit as well. Oh, what horrible timing for the Scuderia. We criticize their strategy decisions in real life. We criticize their strategy decision here. A late safety car. Maniac retired at the exit of turn 3. And what will they do now? Itmar, fresh hard tires, can certainly go to the end of the race. But this lead pack, from Domar to Franco to Scornsy to Hitch to Iceman to Cloud City, decisions to be made here. You imagine they've got somebody talking to them in their ear, gauging the situation, gauging the risk versus the reward. What if we go in? What if we stay out? These tires certainly are completely fine to go to the end of this race, especially at this point with the safety car. We're probably only going to have about 7 racing laps. Could we see anyone be audacious? Head to the soft tire as Fatal in 8th has pitted onto a fresh set of medium tires. And for a night to forget for Racing Bull, could it become a night to remember? A late safety car throwing drama into this race here with 10 laps to go. And now is the time where we will see the decision of every driver at the front. The McLaren, is he on the way in? He is, and the leaders will follow. It was a matter of what will Domar do. We will do as well. Everybody in the top 4, top 5, top 6 are into the pit lane as the Ferrari Can he find some track position here under the yellow flags? How fast will he be able to catch this pack? Let's see where he comes out. Hard tires on for everyone who we just saw pit, except Iceman. Except Iceman. And Scornsey has lost a position in the pit lane. Somehow, some way, the Williams of Hitch has jumped Scornsey, and Itmar has jumped Scornsey as well. A crucial position for Ferrari, and a devastating blow to the title challenge of Scornsey. He's going to be holding his head in his hands saying, guys, what happened? How did we lose not one but two positions in the pit lane? Itmar stopping right as the safety car came out. May have played to his advantage. Has certainly gained him one position, the Ferrari. But could it potentially get him a bucket load of points when he was sinking down the field like a rock, having had to pit that second time? Almost a get out of jail free card for the Skirata, as everybody now is going to have to rejoin the pack. Enigma, not one you want to see there, picking up 3 seconds. I just had to find my voice once more. It's going to be a chaotic last 7 or 8 laps or so. I am doing everything possible to keep my voice in one piece. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been with us, if you're just joining us, it was a group of 3 out front for the majority of this race. Domar has led the majority of this race, starting from pole position, 4/10 from the championship leader of Franco. Franco starting in second place. They've had battles, Domar and Franco, but it's been Domar and the McLaren that stayed at the top. Scornsey could not find any passing positions after qualifying in 3rd place. Had the lead at one point in the race, fell back down to 3rd. That's where he got relegated to. But a late safety car in this one, and a round of pit stops that were probably a bit unscheduled, has seen the Red Bull sink as far as 5th place. And you have to imagine that seeing this 5th place, seeing his championship rival fighting for the win, and being stuck behind not just Itmar but Hitch as well, has dealt not just a devastating blow to the standings itself, but to the confidence of the Red Bull. You have to feel for the guy. You certainly do. Things have just absolutely not gone his way in this race. The safety car in this lap. It will be Domar. It will get us underway once more. Once that takes place, and right on cue, we will have 7 racing laps to decide who wins here at the Bahrain International Circuit to round out round 7. As we head next week into Singapore, you can see the drivers trying to do everything humanly possible to keep those tires warm. Safety car is now in the pit lane. Will Domar get things underway? He hasn't quite gone yet. He has gone now. Off goes the McLaren, and the Mercedes might have a run into turn 1. It was a great restart from Franco. It was maybe a poor one from Domar. He didn't catch anybody off guard. The Mercedes looking to go around the outside. Does go around the outside as he's now got the inside line. Forces his way in, but Domar does well to defend the position. Scornsey, as it looks like we've had a spin from Fatal as well, who's fallen through the field. this battle as Hitch runs wide. Itmar's going to take third place. They're going to bang wheels on the exit, but the Williams losing a position. Scornsey losing another position to the Mercedes. Iceman on the medium tire may have made the correct decision. Time will only tell at the end of this race if mediums or hards were the right decision, as Iceman using what he has in the medium tire for now to his advantage. Just down the inside goes Franco, and up into the lead goes the Argentine. They're going to battle this out, still side by side, as the Mercedes now tucks back in behind the McLarens. They're single file down that back straight. Up the hill we go for the 22nd time tonight. Itmar with that 3-second penalty. Iceman fending off just a challenge from behind has now got his targets forward. The Williams next on his list is Franco now back at the front. You see a little bit of a battle back there for 11th between Panda and Mark as the Ferrari runs wide once more. The Williams now get it. Oh, look out there. Look out there, Itmar. It's Hitch now into third place. The podium position was certainly, I don't think, what the Williams had in mind starting this night. Fatal has seen enough. He's into the pit lane. And our second retiree from this race, Franco, dueling it out with Domar once more into the lead of the race. Shadowstorm has gotten past Scornsey, and what was going poorly before is gone from bad to worse for the Red Bulls. Scornsey, having been in third place the majority of the race, finds himself sinking through the field in 7th. Sees the title potentially slipping the other way. The pendulum now swinging towards Mercedes, towards Franco, who now has the lead of this race, is fending off Domar yet again, the man who's led almost the entire race into second place as of now. But how long will that last? Iceman as well. We'll keep an eye on him. Those medium tires have worked an absolute treat so far for the Mercedes in 4th. His progress, we will absolutely be keeping an eye on. Scornsey, it's getting from bad to worse to ugly. Has now lost touch with the leading pack. The medium tire may have been the choice for the field. 1.4 seconds now is the gap from 7th to 6th, and from 6th to 5th, a 1 second gap has formed. As it looks like Iceman may have had a little bit of a journey off the track, as he has those medium tires all fired up. Franco and Domar, how many times do we have to say it? Lock up into turn 1. Has another move done on the championship leader. Does the man in the papaya orange, as Enigma is also going to call it a day in the pit lane. Our third retiree from this race, Franco. Can he find a way through here on lap number 24? The laps quickly disappearing, with the late safety car throwing an absolute wrench into everybody's plans. As Mark and Panda swap positions for 10th and 11th. You can see right there, getting the move done. Panda is going to take the position right back. That one for 10th place. I wonder now if Franco is just going to bide his time here. He knows he has a few laps to play with. They are going to work to build this gap between the front two and Hitch. But what can Hitch do to stick with this leading group and not come under attack from the man flying after the safety car restart of Iceman rules? Can the Mercedes on the medium tire make those work to the end of this race? See there, Cloud City picking up a big 3-second time penalty. That will just about take him out of the points. I believe Itmar may have picked up another time penalty. He has 6 seconds now for the Ferrari, and he will certainly see a bucket load of points disappear from his time should he not get them removed. Domar now the fastest lap of the race. Domar now into the lead of the race, as he maintains that half-second gap between himself and the Mercedes. Hitch as well has re-entered this conversation as Iceman has just fallen back a little bit, and Shadowstorm has gotten past Scornsey as well. The hard tire, the fresh hard tire, not working at all for the Red Bull. It has gone from bad to worse to ugly to terrible for Scornsey here tonight, seeing all of those points disappear because of a late safety car. They were home free, that leading pack. That no longer to be. Scornsy certainly off the podium now, as his Bahrain Grand Prix has been a bit of a roller coaster. And that roller coaster about to find the bottom and about to find the end as we head into just about lap 26 of this race, as Franco just keeping in arm's reach on Domar out front. You would imagine they are going to have patience. This lead 5, Itmar maybe not so much due to the time penalties, will go ahead and just bide their time. Will anybody make a move here in the laps leading up to the final to try and gain track position, set themselves up for a move later on? Stamposo and Cloud City making the move for 8th and 9th. They're fighting it out through turn 1, and Stamposo will come out ahead so far in that one. Cloud City looking like he's going to fight that one back. We'll go ahead and see how this battle's going. It's Stamposo down the inside, the Alpine and the Williams banging wheels on the exit of turn 4. They'll go wheel to wheel through the S's. That's Stamposo that has the move done. Back up to the front we go. The McLaren and the Mercedes. How many times have we seen this battle tonight? You can go ahead and call it about 10 times, I believe, that we have seen the lead change hands between these two. The Argentine and the Brazilian, the two South Americans duking it out here in Bahrain in Tier 1 to round off round 7 before we pack our things and head to Singapore next week. The streets of Singapore, which can be so treacherous, so hot, humid, rain always a factor. What's always a factor here is the DRS train that is formed from 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. You've got another nice little gap down to Iceman. You've got Itmar for company with those 6 seconds of time penalties. Scornsy now having a little look at Shadow Storm. Can he get past? No DRS for the Red Bull, but he makes the look around the outside. Could the hard tire now come into form for the Red Bull? It would certainly be too little too late as he's opening that DRS and flies past the Alpine. Can he stick this one out into turn 4? The Alpine's going to fight this one back. Shadow Storm for P6 is going to lose that battle. The Red Bull is going to save just a few points on what has been a miserable night for Scornsy. It's certainly disappointing by his lofty standards. Franco now, lap 27 of 29. Only 2.5 laps remaining of this one. Going to stick behind the McLaren. Begin another corner. Lining up a move into the DRS zone as they head up the hill into the fast right-hand corner. The hard tire now certainly starting to come alive. That medium tire just falling off ever so slightly. You see the gap now to Iceman was 1.4, now 2.6. As Iceman, who was with this leading pack for the longest time, has seen himself fallen away ever so slightly. Franco now, DRS wide open. No battery really able to be used by the Argentine, but that doesn't matter as of now. Still 2 laps to go in this one. This lap and one more lap is all that we have in what has been a thrilling Bahrain Grand Prix here tonight, as this move for 4th position. And you have to imagine that Itmar is going to say, well, I got it done on track, but the time penalties are going to see me relegated back down the field, potentially as far as 7th place. We'll go ahead and hang on to this battle out front. A lap and a half to go. Franco C has a nice chunk of battery to use. Let's see if we can go ahead and take a look at the McLaren battery. He's using that battery down this straight, trying to just keep the Mercedes at arm's reach. Say, I'm fine with you being back that far. Any closer, I start to get worried. And what a surprise it would be if in the melee between these two, if Hitch is the one to come out on top, that would be the storyline of the night. The man that has led the majority of this race, the man who sat on pole not just tonight but last night as well, the man who won last night's race, now leads us across the start-finish line for the final time here tonight, but he's still got a lot to do. The flying Argentinian behind him has, a little bit of wheel spin out of turn one is going to hamper Franco's ability to get that time to regain the lead of first place. Mercedes, a little bit of a lockup as well. The pressure mounting from Domar as they head into the S's. That gap is getting ever bigger. 8/10 now is the gap. And as Franco watching this win fade into the distance, it'll be a third podium in a row, but it's not going to be the top step as of now. One more DRS straight to contend with. Does Franco have the juice left in that Mercedes? Does Domar have the juice left in that McLaren? Not this time. He's going to have maybe one more shot into the final corner. It has been a phenomenal performance tonight from Domar, fighting with soon-to-be the Tier 1 champion. Should things go his way, he is going to not just claim the top step last night, not going to just claim pole position yesterday and today, but for McLaren, as he runs just a little wide, Domar is going to take things here in Bahrain. It's a third consecutive podium for Franco. Hitch rounds out the final step. A great result for Williams and their fight for the constructors. Iceman gets fourth place from Domar. Scornsey moves up into fifth, courtesy of the time penalties. Shadowstorm, who's been in the wars a little bit tonight, comes in seventh place. And you have to wonder what could have been for Scornsey. You have to wonder what could have been if not for the tiny, tiny mistakes from the Mercedes. But that is the margin that we are dealing with here in Tier 1. The Brazilian on the top step of the podium in back-to-back nights. McLaren sees gold 2 times in a row here in Bahrain. And final classification here for you, Hitch. A phenomenal performance from him tonight, pitting at the right times, making the right moves, slowly sifting his way up the field. He's certainly my driver of the day, moving all the way into the podium spots from 8th place. The late safety car helping a lot of these drivers who may have fallen out of position regain a hefty chunk of points tonight, as we lost 3 drivers as well. Enigma, Fatal, and Maniac could not see out the remainder of the race. Leaky finishing a lap down. And what a race it was. It was non-stop action. There was never a point in time where you could call the winner of this race, much less the order of the podium. But until then, it will be on to Singapore, on to the streets of the island, where chaos reigns supreme. The wet weather tires always on standby, and you can never predict who will see out that race. Well, having seen all 3 of the 4 tiers at Bahrain this week, I have to say all 3 of them were phenomenal this week. There really wasn't a race this week that I was displeased with or that didn't have any excitement in the slightest. It was certainly a phenomenal week of racing for all 3 tiers that I got to see. But until next week, until Tuesday, we visit the island nation of Singapore. Until then, my name is Skirata. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night, and we'll see you in Singapore.